Hello, it's Jeannie. How are you? I hope you're well. I am doing very well. My back has healed up a lot. We've been back to playing pickleball carefully and settling back in after our trip to Cabo, Mexico. And I hope you saw that video. Anyway, when I came home, one of the things in the mail was something that I saw and bought online, and it just caught my eye. It's called the Forgotten Home Apothecary, and it's 250 herbal recipes that you can make at home for health, for like a anti-inflammatory or a medicine or an herbal support. I have not looked through this, and so I wanted to go through it together with you. I really don't know if I think I can make a few of these things to try out. It's summer right now, but say I get a cold in the fall or the winter, maybe there's something in here that I can make here at home using natural ingredients, and I don't have to use over-the-counter medicines that, drug me up. So we'll have to check this out together and just see. Before we get started, I wanted to introduce you to today's sponsor and whose product I've been using every single day, night, since I first showed it to you over a year ago. And that is the Soundcore earbuds. And I'll show you close up. Some people have noisy backgrounds. Some people have snory, partners who make a lot of noise at night. I'm grateful that I don't. But I love this product, the version from before, and they've updated it because it's a slim-fitting, comfortable-fitting earbud that fits in your ear flat, so you can sleep on either side of your pillow. And I am a side sleeper, so I really, really appreciate that. You cannot do this with hard earbuds. So the Soundcore Sleep A30 is the world's first smart ANC, active noise-canceling sleep earbuds designed to transform your nights. These are 7% slimmer than the version before it, and even those I was just amazed with. And some of you told me about that as well, that you really enjoyed them. So this is what they look like. And they connect to your phone through their app, and they fit right into your ear. The Sleep A30s feature a smart, active noise-canceling system. Each earphone has 2 microphones for a total of 4 microphones for both earphones. And the A30 blocks up to 30 decibels of ambient noise, or even just a quiet room. For me, a quiet room actually makes me wake up, and I hear every little, pin drop. So I like a little bit of muffling, and I like to listen to my ASMR favorites at night. So even smarter, the charging case listens for snoring and delivers adaptive snore masking sounds at just the right volume and frequency, and it helps you stay asleep while effectively canceling those disruptive noises out. And you can listen to either something you download. You can listen to noises, ambient noises on their app, or you can listen via Bluetooth and listen to ASMR channels like Jeannie B ASMR. You can set a private alarm just for you so it won't wake anyone else up. Each set includes multiple silicone and memory foam ear tips, plus winged fittings for a secure, customizable fit. And if you ever misplace a bud during the night, you can use the app's Find My Earbud feature. You can truly experience smart sleep with the Soundcore Sleep A30s, the Smart ANC active noise canceling earbuds. They are still wrapping up some of the design phase, and so this may not be the final version of this package. Grab our limited time only Kickstarter offer now and save with exclusive pre-launch pricing. Thank you to Soundcore for sending these to me. I loved the last set I got, the last version, and I know these will be even better. So I'm really excited to go through this Home Apothecary book. You know, when you click on something on the internet, you start seeing more and more of it, right? The algorithm feeds you what you've been looking at. It feeds you more of that. And, you know, I'm all about trying to live a more healthy life and a more natural life and not use a lot of over-the-counter products or prescriptions if I don't have to. Now, I'm going to show you some of these and we'll get the camera overhead. But I do have to say this is no substitute for what you and your doctor do, okay? So do not replace anything we see in here with a medication that you are taking unless you speak with a doctor, okay? I don't want to be responsible for you doing the wrong thing health-wise. Even something as simple as chamomile tea with honey and a little cinnamon is very healing and soothing and calming. So that is one of my go-to aids when I'm not feeling well, when I have a little cold or even an upset stomach. That works for me, so I'm really excited to see what else there is. I mean, just glancing through, I see, let's see, cabbage socks for inflammation and joint pain. Ooh, that will be interesting. Unwinding, let's see, focus, and it shows ginkgo biloba, anti-fever, an herbal parasite. An herbal parasite flush. That should be interesting. Yeah, so it's funny because every now and then you see these old-timey, I don't know, like on YouTube, you can see these old-timey poultices and things that people make, either the Amish or Mennonites, or something that someone shows that their grandparents, used to give them, poultices, compresses, teas, brain boosting tonic. I need that. So let's go ahead and get the camera overhead and let me show this to you. Okay, and here it is, The Forgotten Home Apothecary. 250 Powerful Remedies at Your Fingertips by Nicole Apelian, PhD. And it talks a little bit about her and where she got her background. She is an herbalist, a mother, a survival skills instructor, an anthropologist, and a biologist. She graduated with a degree in biology from McGill University in Canada and has her master's degree in ecology from the University of Oregon. And she earned her doctorate through Prescott College while working as an anthropologist and ethnobotanist in Botswana. And it gives her whole background here. And then this whole page is disclaimers that this is not a substitute for medical treatment. You should consult your healthcare professionals. She does not make any medical claims. Use with caution. You may have an individual reaction to something. And so this book is mostly just information and entertainment, not medical advice. So I love the table of contents, how it looks like an apothecary. And so she goes through choosing quality herbs and ingredients, choosing the right equipment and supplies, storage and preservation, and then teas, infusions, decoctions, and sun brews, tincture making, oil infusions, oxymels, syrups and elixirs, lozenges, gummies and capsules, balms, salves, creams and lotions, baths and steams, and then essential oils and hydrosols. And she's got it broken down into the cardiovascular system, the digestive system, detox category, respiratory system, nervous system, auditory and visual system, musculoskeletal health, immune system, skin problems and wounds, personal care products, endocrine system, reproductive system, and urinary system. And then she's got safety guidelines and precautions. Okay, so we'll go. She talks about the importance of quality when you source your herbs and your ingredients, and some of the equipment and supplies you'll need. Here, I'll make this closer so you can see that if you want to. Okay, and how to store and preserve herbs. How to label and what kind of darkness they need. Temperature and humidity and freezing. Okay, herbal preparation and use. Fresh. Okay, so it goes into the solvents, whether it's water, alcohol, glycerin, vinegar, oil, honey, and milk. Milk, I suppose, is used as a solvent to extract specific compounds. And it may be culturally specific. Fresh herbs versus dried herbs. Okay, teas, infusions, decoctions, and sun brews. I like herbal teas. Now, an herbal tea is ready in 5 to 10 minutes, whereas an infusion is 4 hours or longer or even overnight. And then decoctions, and that's simmering like a tough woody plant, like a root or a bark or seeds, in order to extract their medicinal properties. And then a sun brew. I've made sun tea before, but that's it. And then a tincture. Tinctures extract a wider range of constituents than water-based infusions and can last for many years if stored properly. They're generally more concentrated than water infusions and are absorbed into the bloodstream more quickly. Okay, so tincture making process. Interesting. Single extraction tincture, double extraction. Wow. Okay. And then oil infusions, where you just extract whatever compounds from the herbs using oil as a solvent. And this is common in aromatherapy, skincare, and culinary applications, like massage oil or skincare products, hair care. Okay, and oxymels. Those are herbal preparations made by combining vinegar and honey, and it creates a tangy and sweet mixture infused with properties of the herbs. They can offer digestive support, immune-boosting effects, respiratory relief, anti-inflammatory properties. And she goes into how to do those and how to store them and how to bottle them. And then syrups and elixirs. It's basically a mixture of water and sweeteners such as honey or sugar, along with the herbs. And then lozenges. And you use the tincture that you made from the previous pages and a glycerin, a vegetable glycerin, and I guess you let them, you make the little drops. That would be fun to try. I'm going to write that down. Lozenges. Okay. And then balms and salves and creams and lotions using beeswax or plant-based wax. Herbal baths. When we have any kind of chest, I've always done this with the kids too. When we have coughs or sore throats, we breathe steam. And usually I put in, some like tea tree oil, eucalyptus, things that open up, and we definitely do this. Even just breathing steam is good for the lungs when you're congested. And then herbal steams. Okay, poultices and compresses and washes. And a compress, you're going to soak a cloth in some infusion and apply it to the skin and leave it there. And it's good for either pain or inflammation or bruising. And a wash is something you would use to cleanse and soothe the skin. And then, of course, essential oils. I don't think I would try to make those. They're easy enough to buy. Okay, hydrosols or floral waters. Right. Here we go. Herbal remedies and recipes for common ailments. I love these pictures. They're very pretty. Okay, and she talks about how to stay healthy with a balanced diet, staying hydrated and exercising, managing stress, getting good sleep, routine checkups, social connections, limit your toxins, and practice moderation in all aspects of life, including food, alcohol, and caffeine consumption, and good hygiene and safety. Okay, so herbal support for cardiovascular system. Things like hawthorn, garlic, ginger, turmeric, ginkgo, green tea, cayenne, cinnamon, and motherwort. And this is a cinnamon infusion for blood pressure, which is basically just boiling a cinnamon stick for 10 or 15 minutes, or a teaspoon of ground cinnamon, and then flavoring it with honey or lemon. And it says adults should not have more than 1 teaspoon of cinnamon per day. Ah, interesting. Okay, heart harmony elixir, garlic and lemon tonic for cholesterol management. You know, you read about things like the Mediterranean diet, which uses a lot of garlic and lemon and fish, and it's supposed to be very good for cholesterol. Now, hibiscus tea for cardiovascular support. And it's just dried hibiscus petals in hot water. Let's see, more circulatory and blood vessel care. Okay, heart drops. And this is they look like blueberries. They're related to blueberries, and they have a lot of heart healthy benefits. Bilberry. And so basically you make a mash and add alcohol and seal it for like 4 to 6 weeks. And then you have just a couple dropperfuls per day after you strain the tincture. Okay, horse chestnut for varicose veins. And let's see, hawthorn berries, more heart things and circulation with turmeric and cayenne balm. And you just smooth this and massage it onto the stiff areas of your body. Arterial declogger, garlic, ginger, cinnamon, lemon in water. And then digestive, things for the digestive system, peppermint, ginger, chamomile, fennel, turmeric, dandelion, licorice, and marshmallow root, and slippery elm bark. So, different digestive tonics and chamomile and lemon balm. I make a lot of chamomile tea at night, and I do add a little honey or lemon, depending on my mood and if we have any lemons. Soothing syrup for an upset stomach using ginger and water and honey. Lemon and ginger nausea lollipops. That's great. So it's lemon juice and ginger, sugar, honey, and lollipop sticks. And you need a lollipop mold. A restorative liver tea and a fatty liver tincture. And that's where the liver is accumulating too much fat. And you can get liver issues over time if it doesn't get treated. All right, moringa powder for liver detox. Yeah. And you just dry the leaves, grind into a powder, and you use it in smoothies, soups, salads, things like that in your cooking. Okay, peppermint oil for IBS relief. Dandelion and gentian bitter tonic for indigestion. Ginger and apple cider vinegar for bloating and gas relief. Dandelion lemonade for gallbladder health. And let's see, Rejuvelac for a leaky gut. And this is made from gluten-free whole grains like quinoa, buckwheat, or millet. And then it's drained and rinsed and sprouted and then fermented. And you drink about a quarter cup daily. It looks disgusting. But fermented things are good for the gut. I do know that. And I like kombucha and, sour things like pickles and, that pungent tartness. I really do like it. Let's see, gut health morning shots with water, lemon, orange, apple cider vinegar, turmeric, pepper, ginger. I would like that in the morning, and you just take a shot daily and it helps your gut. That one I'm going to write down. Gut health morning shot. Gut health morning shot. I may do that. Okay, acid reflux reliever with carrot, ginger, aloe, and cinnamon and turmeric. Gastritis, colitis, and ulcers, bowel balance, an antiparasitic, walnut drops, and that's a tincture. Okay, a laxative, that you would have to be super careful with. It's got psyllium husks, so that's good for fiber. And you should not use something like this for any extended period because it leads to a dependence on it, and you don't want that. Colon detox, apple cider vinegar, lemon juice, ground ginger, turmeric, cayenne, and water. Isn't that the same as the gut health? Let's see, okay. The morning shot, okay. Water, okay, not quite. All right. And black milk, which is non-dairy milk with some activated charcoal and a little vanilla and honey. Activated charcoal is known for its absorptive properties. So it absorbs stuff like, if a kid or anybody comes to the ER with some issue where they have to pump the stomach, they usually finish it with activated charcoal to absorb anything in there. Okay, intestinal relief, an herbal parasite flush, and that is using the papaya seeds. You rinse and dry them, and then you mix them with raw honey, and you use a tablespoon of the mixture per day. Interesting. Fermented cabbage juice as a probiotic. All right, de-bloating. For me, the cabbage juice would bloat me, but then we've got the yarrow extract to unbloat me. Hemorrhoid alleviating oil. An herbal kombucha for gut health. I've known people who made their own kombucha and kept the mother, the culture going and going, kind of like my starter for bread, my sourdough starter. Okay, herbal support for detox for weight loss or detoxification. Slimming tea. Those make me nervous. Bay leaf water. And what does this do? It supports weight management. So you just make it like a tea and just crush them, boil them in hot water and drink it like a tea. Flat tummy capsules. Okay, fennel, ginger root, dandelion, turmeric, and cayenne. That seems to be very popular for the gut. Okay, a craving buster brew. Dried licorice root, boiling water. Okay. Dandelion and burdock purge. Detox. Herbal coffee, which is turmeric, black pepper, cinnamon, ginger, a cup of brewed coffee, some coconut oil, an MCT, which is a medium chain, and a sweetener. Interesting. So this recipe combines herbal ingredients known for their potential to support weight management. Okay, a green burn smoothie. This is good. Spinach, parsley, cucumber, avocado, lemon, ginger, honey, an apple, green apple, or no, it doesn't say green, green tea leaves or green tea powder, and water or milk. Forskolin capsules to boost metabolism. Wow. I don't know this. I've never heard of that before. Stinging nettle soup. And Clarkson's farm, he makes a nettle soup out of the nettles on his property. And supposedly it's good. You use potatoes and garlic and onions and broth. So, it's nutritious and cleansing. Okay. All right, metabolic superfood bars. So it's got rolled oats and almond butter, honey, ground flaxseed, chia seeds, unsweetened cocoa powder, green tea powder, and goji berries. And you make them into a bar. They don't look very tasty, I'm just saying. But I bet they'd keep you alive. And it's all good for you. Okay, respiratory system things. Eucalyptus, mullein, ginger, turmeric, peppermint, licorice root, and thyme. Sore throat spray. That's kind of cool. Interesting. Okay. And you can use essential oils here. So it uses alcohol, 40% or 80 proof alcohol, chopped sage, dried chopped rosemary, oregano, and then the oil, sage, rosemary, and oregano oil. And you make an infusion, add the herbs, strain. Interesting. Okay, and then you spray that. That's interesting. I'm going to write it down. Sore throat spray. Okay, honey, lemon, ginger drops. Mustard plasters. I've heard of these. And for chest congestion, you put them on your chest like that, and it helps with coughing and difficulty breathing. So it creates a warming sensation on the skin and helps loosen mucus, improve circulation, and give some relief. A heating potato pad. And so you just slice a potato, place it on the stove or in the microwave, and then you wrap it in a cloth and put it in a sock and apply it to your neck. It acts like a heating pad. Okay. I'm not going to cut a potato up for a heating pad. I have a water bottle. I've got heating pads. Electric. Okay, Amish cough syrup, which is onions, lemons, honey, peppermint schnapps, and blackberry brandy. Ooh, that sounds delicious. And you take a tablespoon every 4 hours. And this could be something it looks like you could give to kids. There's no alcohol. Oh, wait, the peppermint. Never mind. Schnapps and brandy. Now, when we were kids, we got this kind of thing, of course. I'll tell you a story about that. Okay, another cough syrup. Let's see, sinus relief with eucalyptus. Sinus infection, so an herbal compress. I may come back to these next fall or winter. An herbal gargle for throat infections. Salt. See, we do that. We gargle just warm water and salt. But it says add honey and lemon and your choice of herbs. So one or two. So thyme or sage or peppermint. Okay. Flu, soothing elixir for colds and flu. Grandma's antibiotic. It's mostly alcohol. Usnea. I don't know what that is. It aids with bronchitis, pneumonia, sinus infections, strep, cold, flus, and respiratory discomfort. And it's also good for urinary tract health. Okay. Easy breathing rub, which is eucalyptus and peppermint and camphor. Let's see, thyme and honey. Oh, this is it. I'll tell you about this. Cowboy cough syrup. Whiskey, lemons, honey, and peppermint candies. Okay, a hot toddy. Those are good on a cold winter night, sick or not. It's just a classic warm beverage for cold weather. Let's see, a pine needle tincture, antiviral, jello flu shots. Interesting. So, apple and carrot juice, agar flakes, echinacea tea. Anti-phlegm, holy basil tea. That's sometimes what I need when I record. Sometimes I have to cut because I'm clearing my throat. Allergy relief balm, an antihistamine tea, a stinging nettle tincture for hay fever. Wow, I might have to come to the Cotswolds to go visit Jeremy and get some of those stinging nettles on his farm, Clarkson's farm. More anti-mucus. Ooh, I've heard of this. Fever-breaking onion socks. And all you do is you put sliced onions on the bottom of your feet and then put on socks. And they say the sulfur compounds have an anti-inflammatory property that assists in lowering your fever. And so you put a thin sock on and then an outer sock to hold it all in. Same thing with vinegar. I'm going to try that sometime. I always have onions and vinegar. Okay. Fever compress, snore relief. Interesting. Peppermint, eucalyptus, and agar, which is like a gelatin. We used to, in microbiology, use agar plates to, culture things. And it would get hard. It's made from some kind of fish, I think. And if someone is snoring, you just use the sound core. Okay, nervous system support. Ashwagandha, lemon balm, lion's mane, I use that. Passion flower, ginkgo biloba, and water hyssop. Okay. Brain boosting tonic. Dried ginkgo, dried bacopa, dried gotu kola, and dried sage. Oh, that looks gross. Here's the brain power, the mushroom. So dried lion's mane. Now this is interesting. So high proof alcohol. So it's basically making this, and I just buy mine. I wouldn't do this. Brain booster. Fennel, rosemary, walnuts, pumpkin seeds, stevia or monk fruit. And you grind them all up and you consume it in the morning before a meal. I need all of these. Focus fuel, mind sharpening. I would just I'll do them all. Okay, anti-migraine syrup, feverfew, ginger, and honey and water. Oh, that's interesting. Some of you talk to me about having migraines, and I used to have migraines. I don't so much anymore. Here's one for headache relief. Feverfew, chamomile, peppermint, and white willow bark. You know what? White willow bark, I believe, is just aspirin. That's what they make regular aspirin from. They used to chew it. way back in the day. Not my day. Moon milk for better sleep. Okay, nature's aspirin. Willow bark. You can buy it or go strip it off a tree, and then you get it out with the high-proof alcohol like vodka, brandy, or rum, and you just use a few drops, I'm sorry, just 20 to 40 drops of the tincture in a small amount of water, and you take it orally. Take an aspirin. Okay, banana tea, and this is good for deep sleep. Okay, so you have a whole ripe banana, 2 cups of water, and some cinnamon. And so you wash it, you cut it off at both ends, then cut the whole banana in half-inch slices. Then you boil it for about 10 to 15 minutes. You can add a dash of cinnamon if you want, then strain and serve it. And you drink it about 30 minutes before bedtime. Okay, somebody has to do this and tell me about it. An herbal soak for the bathtub. That's nice. Lavender. Okay, a calming infusion, St. John's wort and linden. And again, St. John's wort, if you're taking any kind of, medication, mood medication, you need to check with your doctor before adding St. John's wort. I do know that. Nature's sedative. So ashwagandha, lavender, chamomile, and lemon balm in water. And it's like a teaspoon is what you start with. Okay, stress elixirs, stress relief, at-home sedatives to alleviate panic attacks. And it's got some, pressure points as well, acupressure. So lavender, clary sage, ylang ylang, and a carrier oil. So, I think I have all those. I don't have panic attacks, but I've got the oils. Okay, mental pressure. Restorative tablets to ease mental pressure. That ashwagandha is good for that. Okay, little herbal lavender pillows, herbal sleeping pills. And it's dried hop flowers, valerian root, lemon balm, passion flower. And you crush it all up and put it into the little gelatin capsules. Okay, bath salts for relaxation. Okay, happiness hormone. Catnip. I have catnip. I'm growing it for the cats and only Sputnik likes it. Okay, chamomile and passion flower. The legal narcotic you can make at home. Mugwort, water, and honey. It's called legal narcotic due to its psychoactive properties. So it's known for calming and relaxing. And it's to enhance dream vividness and recall. So, like lucid dreaming and divination. I don't know. I'd be careful with that one. Okay, a worry relief. All right, I'd better get moving here. This is going to be a long video. Okay, auditory and visual. Let's go forward here. Eye drops, tired eyes. Let's see. If anything, this is a long blah, blah, blah for you. Painkiller in a jar. Lettuce, vodka, and that's it. Yeah, okay. Wild lettuce? Sure. 20 leaves, but 80 proof vodka? Hello? Amish ibuprofen? Cartilage support? Okay, arthritis? I need this. Devil's claw, turmeric, joint pain. You know, I'm gonna do some of these. I just am. Pineapple pain-killing extract. Huh. So it's basically pineapple juice. It's known to be an anti-inflammatory and an analgesic. Okay, magnesium rub for leg cramps. Fermented red clover to help you rebuild bone mass. I need to do that. I'm just saying. I had a bone scan and I didn't get an A+, okay? Yeah. I need bone strengthening stuff. If I were to grade myself on that bone scan, I would call it a D+ or a C- at best. Cabbage socks for inflammation and joint pain. Oh, so you take them, soften them, put them on the skin, and wrap it. What? It's been used for centuries to be an anti-inflammatory because of the sulfur-containing compounds. The glucosinolates. Okay. Somebody's got to try that. Okay? Wrap your foot or something in cabbage and send it to me. Send me the picture. Okay, rheumatoid. Oh, that's not arthritis from my knee, my finger. Pine needles. Okay. All right, more inflammation, immune support. Okay, I'm going to kind of go forward here. Inflammation, fire cider. Wow, listen to what's in here. Onion, garlic, horseradish, raw honey, pepper, and cider vinegar. Whoa. Wow. Okay. Lymphatic cleanser, vitamin bars. Those don't look too bad. Very healthy. Lots of fiber. Amoxicillin. Antiviral oil. Cleansing ointment for candida. Heavy metal detox. Okay. Nail fungus herbal cream. Toenail fungus. Wart freezing spray. I heard you could put duct tape on a wart. You know who told us that? A doctor told us that. You can put duct tape on a wart and just leave it there and like a week and take it off and it'll kill the wart. Somebody try it. Antiseptic balm of natural betadine, salve for tick bites and splinters and boils, vinegar bath, calendula and comfrey skin salve. You know, if you wanted to make these things and sell them, I bet you could. You know, start with a couple. Chamomile lotion for scars. Soaps. I know lots of people who make soaps and sell them at like farmers markets. Psoriasis. First aid spray. Bug spray. Citronella, peppermint, lemongrass, and witch hazel and water. Anti-mosquito salve for when it does bite you. Okay, and alternatives for some of these things. Wow, so all the synthetic fragrances contain harmful chemicals linked to irritation, allergies, and hormone disruption. And you find them in shampoos, body wash, shave cream, deodorant, skincare products. So it goes through all these things that are not so good for you. Age spots, that's what I need. Arnica salve for age spots. Herbal toothpaste. Ugh, that looks awful. Gum strengthening mouthwash. That's good. Better than Botox. Maybe I'll make a bathtub full of that and sell it. I'd make a fortune. What is it? Bakuchiol? I don't know what that is. Bakuchiol seed oil, jojoba, rosehip, and lavender essential oils. Okay, natural sunscreens and deodorants for the endocrine system, and that's kind of like your messenger system for hormones, metabolism, thyroid support. Okay, pancreas, blood sugar, cortisol balance. That's good. For people who have a lot of stress, their cortisol is high. So I take this every day, rhodiola rosea. I take that in a capsule. So there you go. Maybe that's why I'm so chill. That and the lion's mane. I'm sharp and chill. Moon tea. It supports women's health, especially at a certain time of the month. Okay, menopause relief. Anise seed tea for cramping. Fertility boosting tonic. A nature's aphrodisiac. What is that? Damiana leaves. Maca root. Don't know any of those. Let's see. Menstrual health. Urinary health. Cranberry and hibiscus tea. Very good. Parsley tea. I didn't know that, for urinary tract inflammation. A kidney elixir with stinging nettle leaves. Wow. Kidney cleanse. Bladder and prostate support. Overactive bladder. UTIs. Okay. And then they give basic rules for how to take something, but either based on weight or age, and how to properly dose. Wow. And then they just go into what all those things are. So if there's a drug category, what is the herb for that? Okay, so let's take opioids. The herb is ginseng. A statin drug. The herb is red yeast. Okay, and all her references. Wow, that's a lot. I know, I could be reading here for hours, and I think it's very interesting. Well, what is one of these recipes that you would do or try or want to try? So that brain power, I am already taking lion's mane and I love it, but I am not going to try and make it myself. But the brain boosting tonic that I talked about before. Let's see, a teaspoon of the dried ginkgo biloba, some bacopa, and these other things. Here's a funny story with regard to that cowboy cough syrup. Growing up, we had a friend. He was Italian. His name was Nathaniel, and he always had all these little recipes for this or for that. And one time I had a cold, and so he made this little toddy for me with the lemon and the honey and the whiskey. And so we had a show and tell type thing to do at school, and I think I was in the 7th or 8th grade. And so I decided I was going to show how to do that. He called it Italian cough syrup. Here it's called cowboy cough syrup. And I thought, I'm going to bring all that. And I presented it first in my report to the teacher and got approval. And so I brought a big yellow bowl. I'll never remember. It's that big yellow Tupperware bowl. And all the ingredients. My dad gave me a bottle of whiskey and all the lemons I cut up ahead of time. And I went into class that day. And I mixed up this, and I had all the little Dixie cups, and everyone got a dose of this lemon and whiskey and honey. Now, this was back in the early 70s, so times were a lot different then. But yeah, I brought a bottle of whiskey and served it to everybody in my class, including my teacher. He was Italian too, Mr. Ruggiero. Oh my goodness, I haven't said that name in 100 years, Mr. Ruggiero. And I think it was 8th grade. So anyway, everybody got a taste of that. You could not do that today, I tell you. Don't try it, kids. But I did, and it was great. It went over well. I think he monitored how much everybody got, but we all got a good dose of whiskey just before lunch. So I will keep you posted on any of these things that I try. So let me know what you would want to try, or what you would perhaps maybe want to see me try, if it's within reason. Well, I hope you enjoyed this. I'm really excited to do a few of these. I appreciate you being here on my channel, and I always get a great kick out of all your comments and the interactions, so do keep them coming. Thank you to Soundcore. You've got to check out those earbuds. Like I said, I haven't gone to bed once, not once, without them. So, and that's the old version, so I'm really looking forward to this thinner version. So check them out. So I'm really excited about using this new model. Okay, you all, I hope you rest, and I wish you all the best, and I will see you very soon in the next video. Goodbye for now.